This is the Vurb Moto 250 Pro Sport breakdown from Loretta Lynn's 2023. It's your boy Brad with you here. 250 Pro Sport Moto 1 gate is down, and it's Gavin Towers with an absolutely towering hole shot. This kid was ripping right off the hop. Julian Beaumier, the one they call Juju, showing us the way into Storyland, and this moto was all Juju all the time as he leads you back towards the front side of the motocross race track. These guys were sending this big double right next to the announcing tower. The guys who were sending this in the middle of the pack, like, hats off to you. Heading into the 10 Commandments, like I said, you got Julian Beaumier. Hot on his tail is Towers. He's finding himself in that second place spot, but I don't think he's going to be able to stay there because here comes Mark Finnis. Finnis there just behind the 3 of Clough, and also you see the 12 machine of Parker Ross as well. Neither one of them got the best of starts. You got Brad West doing some battle with Evan Ferry. These guys probably don't battle each other too often, given the fact they're on kind of opposite ends of the country. But on this day, they do battle. Brad West leading the way. You got a couple of the Yamahas in there, Trevin Nelson, as well as Jorgensen, and we finally get a look at Daxton Bennick. Not the best of starts for him. He worked his way through. This was a troubling moto for Dax. I think some soul searching after this one. Brad West thanking his suspension guy mid-moto for making that line possible. And the rest of the boys file through, including Dax, who's at this point, he is just, I'm on my way to the front, boys. I have no time for this whatsoever. Exiting Storyland and, yeah, throwing some style into it to boot. And you first look at Avery Long there, looking for some smooth lines. Same thing with Trevin Nelson. And like I said, there you have Parker Ross. Not the best of starts for him, but he was able to work through and get himself a decent finish. So at this point, Towers is completely by himself. He's riding alone in second place. Probably doesn't realize that here comes Mark Finnis. And Finnis was on the gas big time. He was able to make up that gap and actually make the pass second to last lap, I believe. And he had second place all to himself. He set sail looking for Julian Beaumier, but he wasn't able to find him. And let's catch up with our leader here, Julian Beaumier, on his final approach. He'll take that moto win, followed by Mark Finnis, Gavin Towers, Avery Long, and Jaden Clough for your troubles. Moto 2 is re-racked and ready to go, and it's Mark Finnis with an absolutely monstrous hole shot. He just leaves the gas on wide open. It's Finnis, it's Ferry, and Ferry goes, hey, check this out. I can do a stoppie. And Mark Finnis goes, that's really cool, but I have a moto to win, so let me just go through the 10 Commandments here and let the rest of you boys just figure it out. And yeah, heading through the 10 Commandments, this particular moto looks a little bit treacherous, I'm not gonna lie. Finnis out front, like I said a bit earlier in the video, this double in the middle of the track, especially for those who are jumping it in the middle of the pack, like, hats off to you boys. And yeah, Parker Ross just absolutely sending it. All right, the boys are filing through. This is just before Evan Fairley actually dislocates his jaw. And yeah, he didn't have much to say about that one. And then you got some Canadian content there, the 61 machine of Noah Viney throwing all over the jaw. For all intents and purposes, this was Finnis's moto here. You'll see him do his best impression of Daniel Blair going through that corner, but then finishes it off with some picture-perfect style as he exits Storyland there. Moving a little bit further back in the field there, you have Daxton Bennick. He's dealing with, I think that's Noah Viney right there. He's like, guys, I got no time for this. I got a jersey out, twist the throttle. This line right here, I don't know if it's faster. Did look like it was more fun. Daxton Bennick showing the boys how to get through the 10 Commandments the right way, especially even in the slump. Unbelievable. And same goes for one of the roughest, gnarliest sections on the track. This corner was an absolute quagmire. But you knew who had already turned in his room key? Mark Finnis. Absolutely gone. That boy is checked out, gets himself a moto victory. And yeah, he's just picking his way through there. Very businesslike, nonchalant. Nobody gave Daxton Bennick that memo whatsoever. He smelled blood in the water, and he was coming for blood the entire moto. But unfortunately, he himself runs out of time. There's your moto victory. That's Mark Finnis, the 51 machine, leading Daxton Bennick, Gavin Towers, another good moto from Gavin Towers, Trevin Nelson, Parker Ross, rounding out the top 5. Moto 3. This is when the rains came. This was ridiculous. Everyone is absolutely muckified first right out of the moto, and there's Lux Turner just leaving the gas wide open. I don't think Julian Beaumier liked that one bit, and he's going to tell him what he thinks about it. He's going to get the lead very shortly after. I believe Lux Turner leads the first lap, and that's all he'd lead. After a 17th place in Moto number 2, Julian Beaumier was on a mission to, at the very least, bookend his 250 Pro Sport class with a couple of moto victories. He's by himself. Believe it or not, that's a straightaway that turned itself into a set of rollers by the end of the weekend. And yeah, Tower says, hey, check out this Yamaha. Can barely keep the front end down, bud. As Daxton Bennick looks for some clean vision as well. He probably wishes he had Noah's Ark in order to hit these 10 commandments, but was able to still double his way through there. Gavin Towers on his way to a second place finish, his best moto finish of the weekend. And take a little play out of the clutch there, and you know that he's, at this point, he knows he's probably got the championship wrapped up. Julian Beaumier, all he can do is go ahead and win that moto. He'll cross the finish line, celebrate, rev the engine the whole 9 yards ahead of Towers, Clough, Turner, and Viney. Great moto from Viney as well. But the championship, that's Gavin Towers with 3 consistent motos. Daxton Bennick followed by Parker Ross, Julian Beaumier with a couple of moto wins, and Jaden Clough. Gotta love seeing Gavin Towers grabbing himself a championship victory in his last stop at the ranch.